All the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakah Kudash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also, I want to acknowledge all the Akyam who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. All right, I'm in Lamentations and the 4th chapter, starting at the top. It says, "How is the gold become dim? How is the most fine gold changed? The stones of the sanctuary are poured out in the top of every street. The precious sons of Zion, comparable to fine gold, how are they esteemed as earthen pitchers, the work of the hands of potter?" Really, because this is going into our downfall as the Israelites. All right, because you remember, when we're in our right mindset, when we're in our right, when we're in the fold of Yahweh Hashem Yoshai, the men are like gold. All right, that's what it tells you in Isaiah 13 and 12. "I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir." Because we're likened unto gold. We're that gold tried in the fire, right? Let me get another one that'll prove that we're the gold. And we're more precious, meaning we're more rare than gold. The other verse that I'll grab is in Sirach 2 and 2. Verse 5, Sirach 2 and 5, Ecclesiasticus, also known as. "For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity." All right, showing you that the men are the gold. We're likened unto gold, precious. Just like in the earth, you have a abundance of clay and dirt, and there's a lot of basically earthen vessels, but there's only a few. The gold is more scarce, it's more precious. All right, that's the parable. So it says, "The precious sons of Zion, comparable to fine gold, how are they esteemed as earthen pitchers, the work of the hands of the potter?" You see, how are we looked at as the clay now? Because the men of Yahweh Shem Yashar are likened unto gold, right? Verse 3, "Even the sea monsters draw out the beast, they give suck to their young ones. The daughter of my people is become cruel, like the ostriches in the wilderness." So sea monsters, including the Leviathan, right? Even the Leviathan will take care of his young, but the daughter of my people has become cruel, it says, like the ostriches in the wilderness. Because if you know the nature of an ostrich, it's talking about these women of our people, careless women, right? Our women, the majority of our women are mentally and physically destroyed. They have no idea what the truth is because they've been, they've been tainted and basically brainwashed by the so-called white man, the Edomite, who's fucked up the way of their thinking. They don't want to serve their men. They want to be like men. They want to have multiple partners. They leave their husbands with no repercussions. And so Yahweh is comparing these women like these ostriches, which if you know, like I said, if you know the nature of an ostrich, these ostriches, these giant birds, what they do is they'll give, they'll lay their eggs. They'll go bury their eggs, and then they forget where they bury them. So when they come back, they end up stepping on the eggs and destroying the egg because the ostrich is considered a dumb bird, dumb animal, and killing their offspring because they bury the eggs and forget where they bury them. They're gonna end up trampling them. So that's what he's comparing the women of the nation of Israel, because that's what our women. There's a saying. It says that the most dangerous place for a baby, a so-called black baby or a so-called Hispanic baby, is in the mother's womb. Why? Because you got all these, they have these women, they want to be hoes, they end up getting pregnant, and then they go have an abortion. So there's a saying that, that's the most dangerous place for basically an Israelite baby, is in its mother's womb. Because our women, they'll have the pleasure of getting popped and fucking somebody, and then they turn around, they'll want to, have a abortion. So let's keep reading. You get the point on these women and their carelessness. Verse 4, the tongue of the suckling child cleaveth to the roof of his mouth. For thirst the young children ask bread, and no man breaketh it unto them. Right? Because, you have people in our nation, the Israelites, they want to know the truth. They have a zeal, right? A passion, but it's not according to knowledge. So they they can't get the correct breakdowns, even though they have a zeal or a passion, which that's in Romans. Let's grab that real quick. You got a lot of people, you got a lot of Israelites right now. If you go on the internet, on TikTok, you're going to see a lot of false prophets, and the majority of them are going to be our own people. They're over there calling on Jesus and calling on all these, they're giving the wrong breakdowns, giving the wrong teachings. It says, Romans 10:2, for I bear them record that they have a zeal of the Most High, but not according to knowledge. So our people, the zeal means passion. They're passionate about the truth. They want to know the truth. They want to learn the truth. They want to teach the truth. But it's not according to knowledge. It's according to the lies that their oppressor has taught them and gave them. See? So that's why it says, the tongue of the suckling child cleaveth to the roof of his mouth for thirst, because they're thirsty. They want the truth. They want the everlasting, they want the living water. It says, the young children or the young sons ask bread, and no man breaketh it unto them. Because these false prophets are not teaching them right, meaning breaking them down. They're not breaking down the parables, the verses correctly. Because they're learning from the enemy as a curse. You got to understand, your people are cursed. Our people are cursed, because even when they want to know this truth, when what do? They maybe decide to go to a theology school, or they might decide to go learn from a so-called Christian, and that they're not breaking it down correctly. So they learn the doctrine of a devil. All right, verse 5. They that did feed delicately are desolate in the streets. They that were brought up in scarlet embrace dunghills. And that's our people, desolate in the streets, meaning desperate, They don't have, a lot of our people are homeless. A lot of our people walking around the streets, like it says in the scriptures, like wild bulls in a net. Verse 6. For the punishment of the iniquity of the daughter of my people is greater than the punishment of the sin of Sodom, that was overthrown as in a moment, and no hand stayed on her. Yeah, because our people are still under these punishments, under these curses. And they're going to have to die of nuclear missiles, which the nuclear war, this is going to kill more Israelites than they killed in Sodom and Gomorrah. But this is their fate, and why is that? Because they're not cleaving, or Yahweh Bashem Yahushai hasn't given them mercy to understand and receive this truth and this knowledge. All right, verse 7. Her Nazarites were purer than snow. They were whiter than milk. They were more ruddy in body than rubies. Their polishing was of sapphire. Their visage is blacker than a coal. They are not known in the streets. Their skin cleaveth to their bones. It is withered, it has become like a stick. Basically saying our people are just plain out destroyed. There's no knowledge in them, right? The Lord has set up his true prophets, and they'll reject his true prophets now that we're on the scene. That's why they're withered. Verse 9, they that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger, for these pine away, stricken through for the want of the fruits of the field, right? So that's what it's going to come down to. These people are going to be, our people are going to die by the sword, and it's because they don't receive the truth. They reject knowledge, right? They're not going to be considered a priest to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai for their wickedness. Excuse me. They're stricken through the wants of the fruits of the field. See, they're going after the evil fruit, the wicked fruit. They'll believe in Jesus Christ, but we teach them about the true name, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and they reject that all the day long. And I know because I've dealt with our people prophesying on TikTok. You know, that's one of the things I do on the TikTok. I'll go on the TikTok, and the algorithms, because of, you know, the stuff that I've looked up, it ends up putting a bunch of false prophets on my TikTok. So I see a lot of Israelites, you know, prophesying their false prophets, their false prophecies, and we try to teach them or correct them. What do? They mute you. They get offended. They tell you that you're teaching hate and all this other madness because they can't see the light. There's no light in them. At the end of the day, we just know what it is. Hey, these people of our own nation are going to get destroyed for their lack of knowledge, for their their pride, because a lot of it goes back to pride. They think they know they think they have, that they're deep. They think they have knowledge, but they don't have any knowledge when it comes to these scriptures. Verse 10. The hands of the pitiful women have sought in their own children. They were their meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people. Referencing 70 AD. You had our own people where the women were eating their own children. Cannibalism. The Israelites were punished and had to do that. You see? Let's see. Let's get that account real quick. See if I can find it. Second Kings. This is an account of the Israelites eating their own children. That's what we're reading about in Lamentations. Right? Let's go to 2 Kings 6:29. It says, well, first of all, these women were crying out in Samaria because of a famine. And let's read it. They were crying out to the king, right? 2 Kings 6:26. As the king of Israel was passing by upon the wall, there cried a woman unto him, saying, Help, my lord, O king. And he said, If Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai did not help thee, when shall I help thee? Out of the barn floor or out of the wine press? I mean, how am I going to give you something to drink? How am I going to give you something to eat? And remember, it was a famine. Verse 28. And the king said unto her, What aileth thee? And she answered, This woman said unto me, Give thy son, that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. So we boiled my son, and did eat him. And I said unto her, On the next day, Give thy son, that we may eat him. And she hath hid her son. So they were eating their children, man. And the lady pulled a fast one on her. She said, Let's eat yours today, we'll eat mine tomorrow. When it was time to eat her own child, she hid it. She hid her child. Right? So let's keep reading. And it came to pass, when the king heard the words of the woman, that he rent his clothes, and he passed by upon the wall. And the people looked, and behold, he had sackcloth within upon his flesh. You see, so the king was like feeling so bad for those people, for his own people, because he realized these women are eating their own kids. See? So that's why it says, the hands of the pitiful women have sodden their own children, they were there meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people. See? That's what's going to come again, man. You're going to have people eating their kids in this famine that's about to come, because the government's about to put you in a famine. You're not going to be able to do any eating. You're going to go through a lot of calamities here in Babylon, America. And it's because you reject the knowledge and the truth. You're going to be punished severely to the point where you'll be eating your own children. Okay? 11. Yahweh hath accomplished his fury, he hath poured out his anger, he hath kindled a fire in Zion, and he hath devoured the foundations thereof. And when it says that the women have sodden their own children, it means they basically boiled them, right? Because they saturated it with water. So they soaked they boiled them. So let's keep reading. The kings of the earth and all the inhabitants of the world would not have believed that the adversary and the enemy should have entered into the gates of Jerusalem. Right, because it was a punishment. Because at one time we were the superpower on the earth. You so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, you were the superpower. Really, it's been since King Solomon. After King Solomon and after his sin, he started setting up groves and altars to the heathen women's gods. That's when our nation began to severely fall, and when our people became desolate. We went into captivity after captivity, and before, in those times past, you would think that the enemy would never penetrate the gate of Jerusalem, but because of our iniquity and our sins, hey, the Lord let the heathen rule over us, as it tells you in Esdras. Let's grab that. 2nd Esdras 6, verse 57. And now, O Yahweh, behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. See? So it's the Lord who allows these heathen nations. He's the one who allows Edom, the most vile man, the most nasty, filthy man on the planet, to be ruling over us right now. See? Lamentations 4 and 11. Verse 13. For the sins of her prophets and the iniquities of her priests that have shed the blood of the just in the midst of her. Right, because you got to remember, before Yahushua came on the scene, even the priests and the prophets were going off. The Lord reserved a remnant, but the ones who were, in charge of the churches in Jerusalem, the Lord had allowed them to go off, and basically they were teaching false doctrines, polluting themselves in the process. Verse 15. They cried unto them, Depart ye, it is unclean. Depart, depart, touch not. When they fled away and wandered, they said among the heathen, They shall no more sojourn there. The anger of Yahweh hath divided them, he will no more regard them. They respected not the persons of the priests, they favored not the elders. Yeah, because it was a total, spiritual destruction. Our men, our priests, our leaders, they became degenerate plants after once being called a noble vine. So, no one respected those priests over time. And they still don't respect the true prophets who now, because of Yahushua, we have this understanding. But now that's another mark against our people, the ones who reject his true prophets, the ones who he has set up, right? Let's grab this. I grab it a lot. This verse, Jeremiah 3 and 15. And I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which is mind, according to the Lord's mind, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. See, so now he's doing that. He's done that. And guess what our people are doing? Because they've still gone mad in their mind. They're still sick in the mind. So they reject his true prophets when they're on the scene. And it's going to be a bad thing if you don't come into this fold, because now that the Lord has set up his true prophets, because this was his mercy. His giving his men, his prophets, the understanding of the Bible, it was a mercy. It's only going to be a mercy to the elect, because only the elect are going to believe this word, right? Those who believe the report, those who the arm, which is Yahweh Shai, who he's revealed to only the elect. Let me get that in Isaiah 53:1. Who hath believed our report, and to whom is the arm of Yahweh Baal Shem Yahweh Shai revealed? The arm of Yahweh is Yahweh Shai. Who hath believed our report? The elect. The elect believes the report. No one else. The elect believes in Yahweh Shai. No one else. All right? And the elect can understand these scriptures that we break down. It comes clear. It's plain to the elect. If you're of the elect, that means you can understand the true teaching, the true knowledge. You see the precepts lining up. You see us breaking down these verses day in and day out on the internet, on the YouTube, at the camps. You know, this truth that we break down, it makes sense to you 100%. That's a good sign. If you can receive and you understand this truth, then that's a good sign you are of the elect. Okay? Lamentations 4:17. As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. In our watching we have watched for a nation that could not save us. They hunt our steps, that we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near, our days are fulfilled, for our end is come. Yeah, because they destroyed our nation. They destroyed our people. So much so that you fast forward to Babylon, America, and our people don't even know who the F they are. Right? They're walking around calling themselves black, Mexican, Puerto Rican, Manessa, I'm sorry, Manessa would be Cuban. So, but the point is we have biblical tribal names, and our people are barely, the majority of them don't know the names. They don't know who they are in the Bible. They sit there and call themselves by the bywords, which is a byword is a curse, which is a name that your enemy gives you. You know? Instead of questioning logic, like saying, why don't I ever see the word Mexican in the Bible? Or why don't I ever see the word black person in the Bible? Why don't I ever see the word Puerto Rican in the Bible? Why don't I ever see the word Haitian in the Bible? Why? Because those are bywords. They're not biblical nationalities. There's only 18 nations, and you're part of the tribes, or you're part of the heathen, which even the heathen are under bywords. Let's see, verse 20. The breath of our nostrils, the anointed of Yahweh Baal Shem Yahweh Shai, was taken in their pits, of whom we said, under his shadow we shall live among the heathen. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked. Right? And I think that's Jeremiah 28:18. Oh man, this is going to be hard to remember. Jeremiah 28. No. Maybe it's Jeremiah 48:18. Nope, that ain't it. Let me see. Jeremiah, that's what it is. Jeremiah 49:12. Now the curses are going to fall on our enemies. Jeremiah 49:12, for thus saith Yahweh, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. Talking about the Israelites. We weren't supposed to be under these curses. We were supposed to be under the blessings, but we forsake Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, so we got punished. So that's why we weren't supposed to be drinking of this cup, which the cup is the cup of the wrath, the cup of curses. It says, and art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. I have sworn by myself, saith Yahweh, that Bozrah shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual wastes. All right, because Bozrah is a chief city in Edom. So he's telling you in Jeremiah 49:12 that Edom, you so-called white people, are also going to drink of these curses, but you're going to drink it from it for eternity in the kingdom. All right, you're going to be well, I shouldn't even say for eternity, because you're actually only going to be around for 1,000 years of slavery. But you will definitely, mark my words, drink of these curses. The so-called white man, the curses are already fallen on him, if I can get that. Let me see. Deuteronomy 30:7. And Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. You see? So that's what Jeremiah 49:12 is talking about. Our enemies going under the curses. Our enemies drinking from that cup of the wrath. Drinking of the cup that we drinking from right now, that we weren't supposed to drink from, but we assuredly have, because we went off. We forgot our power. We forsake Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. But guess what? The tables are turning. That's why Babylon America is falling. Okay? Lamentations 4. So you're going to have Edomites eating their babies, boiling their kids for meat to live on. These curses are going to fall on these Edomites. And Edomites will willingly do this, man. Edomites don't even have to be in persecution to do that. That's how sick they are. Lamentations 4, and where am I at? 19. Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heaven. They pursued us upon the mountains. They laid wait for us in the wilderness. They're swifter than eagles, because that was one of the characteristics of Alexander the Great. When he was conquering the ancient world, he was conquering with so much rapid destruction and annihilation. He conquered all the other Alexander the Great conquered the ancient world quickly, so it was referred to as a swift eagle. He moved like an eagle with his blessing, the sword, and the same thing he did to the Israelites, his descendants. Because when you go into the history, Alexander the Great, he actually respected the Israelites, and we were the only ones that he didn't tax in the beginning of his rise. And it was because the Lord had sent him a vision, and this is in their folklore, but it's also a truth that we believe through faith, that Alexander the Great had a vision sent to him by Yahweh Bashem Yahushai in a dream, where he knew that the children of Israel were the sons of the power, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. You have to do your own research on that. But it says, they pursued us upon the mountains, they laid wait for us in the wilderness. The breath of our nostrils, the anointed of Yahweh was taken in their pits, of whom we said, under his shadow we shall live among the heathen. Yeah, then you go read in the Maccabees, it tells you about this. And that's when the Greek started taking over. Let's go grab that. It says exactly what we just read in Maccabees. That's how you know the Apocrypha is precept and is part of the Bible, because the words, the Apocrypha matches right up. Right? First Maccabees 1:11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men, who persuaded many, saying, let us go make a covenant or an agreement with the heathen that are round about us, for since we departed from them we have had much sorrow. See? So there were wicked men in Israel talking about let's go join with the heathen, and that's what you still see today. They're joining with the heathen. They have the mindset of the heathen. They do the customs of the heathen. When in Jeremiah 10 tells you not to learn the way of the heathen. Thus saith Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen. All right, and that's the point. Go back to Lamentations 4:20. The breath of our nostrils, the anointed of Yahweh, was taken in their pits, of whom we said, under his shadow we shall live among the heathen. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken, and shalt make thyself naked. So there it is. These Edomites, they're gonna fall under the curses that we had. They're gonna be eating their children. They're gonna be subjects unto the true power, the true nation that should be in power are the Israelites. They're going to be our handmaids and servants, like it tells you in Isaiah 14. All right, also in Psalm 2 and I think 8 or 10. It's either Psalm chapter 2, 8 or 10. I can't remember. I was getting mixed up. Verse 22. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished. O daughter of Zion, he will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. Right. Daughter of Edom, you're gonna, these curses are gonna fall upon you. You're gonna drink of the cup. Let's go read that again. Jeremiah 49:12. Let's read that again because it's talking about Edom. Remember, it spoke on Bozrah, which was the chief city in Edom. 49:12. For thus saith Yahweh, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. Those are the Israelites. And now the second part of this verse is talking about the Edomites. And art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? So what Yahweh is telling through Jeremiah the prophet, he's saying, oh, you Edomites, you think you're going to go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. For I have sworn by myself, saith Yahweh, that Bozrah shall become a desolation of reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste. And just to remind you, we're going to go back to Deuteronomy 30:7. It says, and Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. And guess who hates us and persecutes us? Esau, Edom. All right? And you know what? Let's prove this. Let's get a, let's see. All right, so I know that sometimes when I switch from the Bible app, it doesn't record my voice, but I showed you on the map. It said the kingdom of Edom. If you have to rewind your video, the kingdom of Edom, and I zoomed in onto the chief city. One of the chief cities was Bozrah. All right, 49:12. I'll read 13. For I have sworn by myself, saith the Lord, that Bozrah shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste. All right? So these curses are going to fall on our enemies. Starting out with our chief enemy, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the one, a lot of you Israelites, you love him to death. And at the end of the day, you love him to death because he's literally going to bring you to the grave. You're going to die because of your allegiance to the so-called white man, to the Edomite. Because of your allegiance to the Edomite, you're going to pledge an allegiance to him, just like you do his flag, but you're going to do it through the charagma, through that MOTB, through that grain of rice that he's going to put in your hand or in your forehead. That's going to be the ultimate allegiance. It's going to put you, 2/3 of our own people, of you Israelites, put you to the grave. All right. So with that, I want to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rekak Badash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also want to acknowledge all the Akim who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth, and shalom to the elect. Shalom.